What's up? What it do, cyber? What it is? Your girl, the one, the only Ash said it. AshSaidIt.com. AshSaidIt.com. Babies. Yeah. So okay. I want to say happy Monday to you guys. Happy Monday morning. Yes, because it's a beautiful Monday morning. We're waiting for the sun to show its beautiful face, which is coming. I can feel it. But I had to touch on it. People keep asking me, and I've been across social media, like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everybody has hit me up. So this leads me to believe that, number one, I'm doing something right, and number two, people are just unaware of what it takes. It's podcasting, me doing this podcast. People want to know, well, how do I get a podcast like yours, Ash? How do I do that for my podcast? How do I start a podcast? What do I need to do? Start talking. Start talking. Consistency is key. I do this podcast daily for several reasons. One, I do it as self-motivation. I do it for myself, for my own motivation, because I need to get myself pumped up for the day. All right? That's one of the main reasons why I do this podcast. And that's one of the main reasons why it started. It wasn't to impress anybody. I didn't really even think people were going to pay attention. But now this is almost 2 years later, and I have, I have people out in Antarctica that are listening to me. That is bonkers. I never even imagined. I didn't think that people were going to pay attention. I was doing it just to try it out because someone had suggested it to me and said, hey, this is an easier way and it's free. And then, you should just do this. So I did it for a while, and I would sporadically do broadcasts. I wasn't on a consistent basis with the broadcast. And things slowly but surely started picking up. I never would have imagined that my audience would grow to where I'm being featured on iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, Stitcher, Google Play. I never imagined that that it would go this far, when it was just something that I was not really taking serious, and something that I was just playing around with. To be where it is now is amazing. It's amazing, but it didn't come without hard work, y'all. Nothing beats hard work. I can't stress it enough. If there's anything in this life that you want to do, it's gonna take work. There's no shortcut to any of this. There's not. If there was, trust me, I would have took all of them. And just jumped straight to the credit. Jump straight to it. But nothing beats hard work. Nothing. And some people was like, well, how did you know how to speak on the mic? Or how did you know how to put inflection in your voice? Or how did you know how to do this? Well, excuse me, keep in mind, I've been doing vocal training since 2003, almost 2002, 2003, around that realm. Excuse me. So I've been doing voice work for a long time, so I know how my voice is supposed to sound. I don't like listening to my voice. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I just love listening to me. I just sound wonderful, darling. I love it. No, I don't like listening to my voice. I know how to make things sound the way that they should sound. If that makes any sense. But I'm not a fan of my own voice, no. Not a fan in the least. Not a fan in the least. No. So, first and foremost, hard work. You got to decide if that's what you want to do. You got to do it for the right reasons, because if you're doing it for the right reasons and you're enjoying what you're doing, it's basically like you're not doing work. You're just having fun. You got to make it, it's got to be something enjoyable to you. If you go into it for the wrong reasons, and you go into it to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, I hate to disappoint you, it ain't going to happen. Not off the rip like that. It's not going to happen because your heart's not in it. You got to love it. Radio is my first love. Sorry. Radio is my first love. I mean, really and truly and honestly, I love radio. And I will always love radio. But there were a lot of things that I had to do before I could be heard by you right now. You know, there's a lot of things that prepared me for this moment. And being in production and being an editor and producer at several major radio stations helped me. That was my background. I really molded the person that you listen to every single day. All right? So, first off, you need to figure out what it is that you want to do. All right? If you're going into podcasting just to make money, you're going to be disappointed, number one. And you're going to hate it because you're not going into it for the right reason. All right? The right reason is because you love it. The right reason because you want to inform people. The right reason because you want to make a difference. Don't go into it just to make money. Money will come if you're talented and if you stay consistent. It will come. There's no question about that. But you got to go into it for the right reasons. That's it. First off, you got to go into the right. Decide if it's not something that you enjoy doing, that you love doing, that you wouldn't mind not getting paid for. Don't do it. You're gonna make yourself miserable. You're gonna absolutely hate yourself. You're gonna do it. You're gonna hate yourself. You're totally gonna hate yourself. I kid you not. Kid you not. So first off, decide what it is that you want to do. Second off, you gotta put some of the most work that you've ever put into anything into it. This is hard. It's not instant coffee, okay? You don't just pour the hot water on it and then wham, bam, it's done. No. Sorry, y'all. I got a little bit of a cold going on. We're doing a lot of traveling this weekend, and I just trying to get back to it. But no, you've got to put in work. There's no shortcut. There's no shortchanging doing hard work. Nothing. Nothing can shortchange hard work. Nothing. I'm telling you what I know for a fact. This is not something I'm just saying just because it sounds good, saying just to put it out there. This is something that I know for a fact. Hard work pays off. It does. And this is pretty much across the board with anything. Anything that you want to do, anything that you're willing to fight for, anything that you want to prosper in, you're going to have to pour hours, blood, sweat, tears, money. You're going to have to pour all of that into what you want. And you're going to have to stay consistent on it. You got to stay positive on it. You got to stay fruitful on it. The next one, stay up to date on what the trends are. Where are people? How can you reach your audience? You have to stay up on that stuff. You got to stay educated on it. You got to figure out what they're doing so that you can do it. Where they're going so you can go and tell them about yourself. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I know a lot of people see me now and they're like, oh, well, Ash is on all these platforms and Ash is doing this, that. Oh, I know, but she just makes it seem so easy. I may make it seem easy, but I'm telling you, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Now, I have been blessed and I have seen some fruits of my labor in the last couple of months. Being featured on those platforms is amazing. But I still got a lot of work to do. I haven't arrived yet. I've got a lot of work to do. So I take time and I stop and I recognize and I stay consistent in what I'm doing. But I also have the full understanding that I've got a lot more work to do. A lot more work to do. Lot more. plenty more. Tons more. A lot of work to do. So you have to stay consistent with something, and you got to study your craft. You got to know what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, how can you do it better, how can you improve. But podcasting for me, like I said, I jumped into Spreaker. I have to credit Spreaker with a lot of it, because had it not been for Spreaker, you wouldn't be listening to me right now. There's no way that you'd be listening to me. Now, after I left a couple of companies and I wanted to still stay on the whole radio tip, they made me feel as though I had to be in a studio, I had to pay somebody money, I had to do a weekly show, blah, 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 woo-de-woo. I said, no, I'm not doing that. Number one, I don't have the finances to do that right now. It's none of my wheelhouse. And number two, I just don't want to deal with all that stuff. It's a lot that takes into it. I know that I'm fully capable of doing it, but right now, that's just not the look. They want me to drive all the way across town and drive under here and drive over there. I don't have the time, the effort, the energy to do that at this point. Now, the Live with Ash Beezy podcast, the Ash Said It podcast that I used to do, I love that show. That was an amazing show. That show opened up doors for me and created relationships that I would have never had otherwise. Love that show. Love interviews. But that was a different show. That show was less interpersonal and more promotional. I promoted authors, artists, nonprofits, companies, anyone that needed a voice. They got it on the Live with Ash Beezy show. They did. And I'm thankful to have provided an outlet for artists like that. It was an amazing, amazing feat for me, and I will never forget it, and I'm so thankful for it. But at this stage in life, that's not where my focus is. Now, should an opportunity present itself where I could make that my focus again, I'd love to do it. I'd do it in a millisecond. But as of right now, Ash Said It daily is it for me. It's convenient. I can do it on the go. I can do it as I'm on the track, getting my laps in. I can do it as I'm headed to the airport. I can do it as I'm leaving the airport. I can do it wherever. I can stick in my earbuds and I can talk to you guys. That's where I can do my podcast. That's what I'm gonna do it. And I just feel it's a lot more freeing of an experience, because you guys get to learn more about me. And that is an aspect of Ash Beezy, of the Live with Ash Beezy podcast, that people never got, because it was solely about the artist. It was solely about whoever I was promoting. I would give little tidbits here and there about myself, but it was less of an interpersonal situation where you could learn about me and where I really would talk about myself. So Ash Said It Daily really is a completely different beast. I'm proud of it, and I'm thankful to be able to share pieces of my world with you guys, because it's not like I said, it's not instant coffee. Definitely not instant coffee. So I'm really thankful that I'm in a place now that I can just talk freely about whatever. I don't necessarily have too much of a filter. There's certain things that I'm not going to touch on too much on the podcast, because, I don't want to ruffle too many feathers. But I'm enjoying it. And I love it. And that's why it's become as profitable and productive as it is, because I just love it. I love doing it. I look forward to doing it every single day now. It's just one of my first things. I'm like, what are we going to talk about today? I don't like to plan things out necessarily, because I just don't know what's going to be on the top of my head to talk about. Like this morning, I had 2 people inbox me, ask me about podcasts. How do I podcast? You got to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. And when I started Spreaker, when I started doing Spreaker, Spreaks, when I started Spreaker, I didn't have anybody following me. I just started doing the audio posts and just talking randomly. Didn't really have a format. Didn't really have a setup as to how I was going to do things or anything. So as time went on and people started liking my posts, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, they're actually liking what I do? That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Wow, okay. So as time went on, people started discovering me and finding me and listening into my Spreaks and emailing me about them. Hey, I listened to you today on Spreaker. I agree with what you said, or I didn't agree with what you said. Why did you say that? You know, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I just thank you guys for finding me, for embracing me, and for encouraging me. Because this is not an easy thing to do. Especially, I feel, since a lot of things stem from losing my mom. Losing my mom, I connected with some really not good people. And even in that time, I still had Spreaker. And I still was talking to you guys and promoting stuff that I probably had no business promoting. And helping people I probably had no business helping. But through it all, I've enjoyed you guys. I enjoy each and every one of you for listening in. I enjoy each and every one of you for continuing to support me and to encourage me, because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But you definitely get a better idea of the world that I live in on a daily basis. You definitely get a good thing. But yeah, for me, I enjoy doing the podcast daily. I enjoy talking with you guys. I enjoy opening up my world. I enjoy motivating you guys. And like I said, initially, and still to this day, as I talk and I pump you guys up, I'm really pumping myself up too. Because life is happening to everybody. Anyone to tell you that they're not going through something or life is not kicking them in the rear, they're a doggone lie. And you can tell them that Ash said so. Okay? They're a doggone lie, because guess what? Life comes for everybody. Life comes for everybody. No one gets overlooked. None. So, as I'm going through, I know that there's some other people that's going through and maybe going through worse times than me. So, we have to remember to build each other up. Build each other up. If you know somebody that may be having a rough day, a rough week, a rough month, encourage them. Talk to them. Say to them, hey, how's your week going? Hey, how's that new job? Hey, how's the family? Something. Reach out to people. We have lost the connection between one another. And somewhere along the line, it turned into me. And I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's turned into a me situation. And we haven't haven't helped one another. We forgot about one another. It's like, really? Like, how do you forget about someone like that? How do you forget? I don't know. I just don't know. All I do know, and what I can say is this. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Continue to push forward no matter what. Anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, look them in the face and say, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. Because that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. We're not doing this, to be cutesy-wootsy, I can be social media famous. Forget all of that. That stuff is nice, and the aesthetics of it looks great. But what are you doing to make a difference? What are you doing to leave your watermark on this world? What are you doing? Figure it out. Figure it out. If podcasting is the thing that you want to try out and do, then do it. Do it to the best of your ability. Like my mama used to say, don't do it half-ass. If you're going to do something, do it wholeheartedly. Do it right. You're doing it half-ass, you're going to get a half-ass result. That's what's going to happen. So if you're going to do something, do it right. That's all I got to say for that. Yeah. I hope that somebody out there heard me. I hope you hear me. Yeah. Sorry if I sound a little bit hoarse, like I said. I've been traveling this weekend. Just been in and out of environments and weathers and all kinds of stuff, so I may sound a little nasally. My apologies. My apologies. So, yeah. But, yeah. That's pretty much what's going on with your girl. AshSaidIt.com continues to grow and flourish. I thank you guys for the support of the movement. We got some big and bad things coming, y'all. You got to stay tuned, though. You got to stay tuned and woundsy. You got to stay tuned for it. So, I'm looking forward to it. You should look forward to it. And we're going to make some magic happen. We're definitely going to make some magic happen. I'm so excited. So excited, I just can't hide it. That's pretty much it. So, I love you guys to pieces. Thank you so very much for joining your girl. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for loving on me. Thank you for downloading the episodes. Thanks for checking out AshSaidIt.com. Thank you for emailing me info at AshSaidIt.com, info at AshSaidIt.com. And follow your heart. You know, in your heart and soul, there's something that you've been wanting to do, something that you've been needing to do, and that you've been putting off for a while. You need to step on faith. Step out on faith. Make it happen. You can do it. It's not a question of if, it's a matter of when you want to make that change. When do you want to do it? You're going to wait till you're 60? Or are you going to do it now while you can? You going to wait till something crazy happens to you? Or are you going to do it now while your mind is clear and you have a focus? You need to figure it out because time waits for no man, no woman. Time is one of those precious things that we cannot get back. Can't get it back. No matter how much you do it, how much you try to do whatever. Time's not going to wait for you. That much I can tell you. It's not going to wait for you. Not going to wait for you. Not one bit. Not one bit. So, I would just strongly suggest that you go and follow your dream. People are going to have an opinion. Let them have their opinion. They're entitled to it. It's a free country here in the U.S. of A. You can do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, darling. But you can't care about what people are going to say. People are going to say anything anyways. People are going to form their own opinion on your life without even knowing you. I've had that happen a multitude of times. It's not new. It is nothing new. Absolutely nothing new about that. You just got to be grounded enough in who you are and not allow people to define you and tell you who you are. Once you're grounded in who you are, there ain't nobody that can tell you anything about yourself. Nothing. So, keep pushing forward. Keep following your dream. And don't worry about the small stuff. People's opinions, that's small stuff. Worry about the big stuff. Big stuff is how are you going to make your dream a reality? How are you going to make it a reality? So, that's pretty much my story for the day, Peaches. I love y'all to death. I love y'all to life. I love y'all forever. Keep doing what you do, baby babies. And we're going to make history. History. All right, deuces, y'all. Love you. Mwah.